Al, still on board perspectives, and as you know, I got my sports analogies. I compare boards even to pro sports teams, and I've interviewed a lot of executives from of pro sports teams. What they talk about all the time is how do we create a winning culture, the camaraderie of trust, the diversity of skill sets, as we've talked about, but a winning culture to actually be effective in contributing and working with management of that company?
Well, it's engagement. I mean, what better way to engage a group of people than to have a sleepover party? Let's use that analogy. Everybody should get together. You should be comfortable talking to your senior leaders in the company, because if you're not engaged with what's happening on the entry level to what's going on at the top, you're going to miss a big portion of that pie right there. So, it's kind of interesting how people bond, and you look at like Apple, for instance. When Apple's operating with the mind of working with a multi-million-dollar budget and went back to what would we do if we had nothing, people started coming together and putting creative ideas on the table. So you've got to really hone into where those ideas can come from. And sometimes it's not your senior level team. They can be very disjointed from what actually is going on within the company. You've got to have your eyes and ears open in every department, in every little nook and corner of your company.
So when I do presentations to boards about how to be more effective and really contribute more, the first thing I should recommend is a sleepover.
You know what? It's a great analogy, isn't it? That how do people bond? Back in the UK, we go down to the pub, we have a drink, and people talk. And I don't want to promote alcoholism, but sometimes people do need to loosen up. And people need to realize that we're all real people at the end of the day. Some people have worked harder than others to get to the top. But, quite often, if you've got a very good leader who is that person who can mix and mingle with everybody in the company, he's a coach, he's a leader, he's a mentor, and he can actually give answers to the person at the bottom and put motivation to help them get to the top as well. These are the connections that everybody wants. And I believe it's a responsibility of a leader to actually offer that and open yourself up. Be vulnerable, as leaders, be vulnerable.
So the leader of the company, the CEO, etc., should be vulnerable to the board, and the board should get engaged with those leaders, is what you're saying.
You need to be. I truly believe there needs to be vulnerability there. You can't have an us and them in any situation. As soon as that is happening, you're not performing, to the best of your ability, and your company will not gain the results that it could possibly do if everybody was on the same page. Yeah.
And then the foundation of that is that they all wear appropriate pajamas to the sleepover.
Pajama parties, sleepovers. I have a bit of fun. So many work environments are so stodgy. I've been in some really awkward places that I don't even want to go there as a trainer. I've been in some of these places, and people want to have fun. So, everybody deserves a right to go to work and have a good time, and if you can generate that kind of an environment, and I'm not talking about just artificially doing that to say, we play table tennis at lunchtime and all this. No, genuinely do it. It needs to be a part of the culture, and for the senior leaders to be a part of that and to be an influence, and, without any pretense involved, just be yourself,
Great advice. Good stuff, man. Thank you.
Hey.